And welcome back to the Hot Lap. We are talking an absolute shocking pole position in Hungary. We thought we'll be talking about a McLaren front row lookout at the very least. A McLaren P1. But no, neither Oscar or Norris are starting P1. It's a certain driver in a red overalls, in a red car from Monaco, Charles Leclerc, who at the beginning of the weekend said this is one of his worst tracks. Well, this is his worst track. Heavens forbid. What is his best? That could be quite scary, couldn't it? So we'll be talking about qualifying. Shock eliminations from qualifying. Is Lewis Hamilton the most successful driver at this track? And even more shocking is the revelations, is what he said during his interview. Is this the end for Hamilton? I don't think it is, but you'll be forgiven for thinking this announcement on the 8th of August that he's talking about could be his retirement. I don't think it is. For the record, shock qualifying. Let's get into it. So we thought, pole, Charles Leclerc. Who would have guessed that whatsoever? Absolutely amazing. Congratulations. I mean, I can't say it more. Pole position, Charles Leclerc. There was a tiny bit of rain in the session. At no point did this guy look like he was going to get pole. Potentially, we're looking at, he could have maybe split the McLarens at a push, but at best it looked like a second row grid spot for Leclerc. But there we go. I mean, essentially what happened is the McLarens just didn't really improve. In fact, they slowed down in Q3, where Charles Leclerc did not. And yeah, I mean, Leclerc himself said, today I don't understand anything. And that's after securing pole position in Hungary. I think Charles Leclerc was pretty much as surprised as anyone else getting that pole position. Let's have a look at the grid, shall we? So in pole is Charles Leclerc, Oscar Piastri in P2, Lando Norris P3, and look how close. George Russell P4, all within just over half a tenth, 53 thousandths of a second, or 50 or 500ths of a second, just over half a tenth. Now, Fernando Alonso, just over a tenth off, P5. Well done, Fernando. 6th is Lance Stroll. 7th, Gabriele Bortoleto. What is he doing there? Well done. 8th, Max Verstappen. We all thought, and I said in the Friday form guide, they're going to sort it out. And, well, they're not a second adrift. They're not half a second adrift. They're only 3.5 tenths adrift. But that 3.5 tenths is the difference between P1 and P8. That's how close this qualifying is. Liam Lawson is 9th. Isaac Hadjar is 10th. And well done. Liam Lawson out qualifying Hadjar. It seems that Liam Lawson is now back to his self, doesn't it? Very much so. Lewis Hamilton, 12th. Ollie Behrman, 11th. Ollie Behrman, 11th. Of course, Ollie Behrman's 11th. He loves the number 11. Lewis Hamilton is in 12th. Yeah, I was absolutely shocked. He kind of made a mess of the last couple of corners of the sector. The rear of the car, just kind of like the Mercedes, just not really gelling with Lewis. So we got Carlos Sainz in 13th, Franco Colapinto 14th, Kimi Antonelli in 15th, Yuki Tsunoda in 16th, Pierre Gasly 17th, Esteban Ocon in 18th, Nico Hulkenberg 19th, and Alexander Albon in 20th. That is your grid, seemingly, unless something changes, which I don't think it will, for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Yeah, so this is a pixel version. Links are in the description below, which I found, which is brilliant. You can visually see in Q3 all the qualifying sessions the difference between. I mean, look how close Leclerc, Piastri, Norris, and Russell are. It is, I mean, look, we're talking hardly anything at all. Alonso and Stroll really close to each other. And to be fair, well done to Lance Stroll. We always slag him off, absolutely. Once again, I know one swallow doesn't make a summer. There's been a couple this year, to be fair. I still don't think. I still don't think he should be in Formula 1 in spite of this, because there's other people who I think are a lot more skilled. But I'm going to have a tiny bit of humble pie, because Lance Stroll being just behind Fernando Alonso is absolutely not bad at all. It's really quite impressive. And I mean, you got here Bortoleto just getting in to P in Q2. And Lewis Hamilton just sort of, missing out by not very much at all. But he made a mistake, Leclerc didn't, and Hamilton's comments later were, what we're going to get into it, kind of a bit depressing. Yeah, I've got to warn you. And this was, Fernando Alonso, we've got to talk about this guy. Number 14, he's now Lewis Hamilton's number age, as in 44. And he's doing gangbusters. I mean, look, we need to remind the fact that he is starting 5th, less than a 10th off in Hungary, which is not the easiest of tracks. As with all tracks, you need absolutely commitment. He's out-qualified his much younger teammate, albeit slightly less talented, maybe you could argue. But even Lance Stroll is within, you know, like 200ths of his teammate, which is really impressive. And this guy's 44. I mean, I think not since Graham Hill have we had somebody as high up, in spite of their age. Fernando Alonso proving age is but a number. So this is the quali lap delta. Here we go. So this would be their fastest lap in qualifying, not the results. And it shows you here that a 1:14.890 was the fastest lap Lando Norris did. But pole was a 1:15.3, as you can see here. So what's going on? And this is why McLaren, everyone was so shocked that McLaren should have been on pole. Now, it was getting cooler and cooler. The track was getting cooler, which means the track changes and the grip fields can change. Normally, when the track gets really, really hot, there's not maybe as much grip for some of the, and the tyres may wear out the hotter it is before the end of the lap. So the way the tyres feel against the track is going to change. But change that much, I mean, we're looking at, look, Norris, a 1:14.890. Ultimately, he would have, you know, he was in the 1:15.3s. So we're looking at like half a second, 6/10 off, which I just don't understand. So Norris, there, Piastri just a bit slower than him on their fastest lap. Yes, Piastri did out-qualify Norris. And then you got Stroll, should have been 3rd, Russell 4th, Alonso 5th, Leclerc 6th. Hamilton's obviously all the way down there. And then you got Had driver Verstappen. But it's just really, really bizarre. Because when you look at Charles Leclerc, he was about half a second off. He pretty much did. He improved, I think, by a 10th in each session, which is just absolute head scratching. Now, when we look at the track dominance, it's on the strengths again, just like when we had the Friday form guide. It would appear in the fastest bits, it's Leclerc. Is it because he's got slightly less wing, which could make him quite hard to be overtaken in Hungary? We know in Hungary it is hard to overtake. Has Ferrari done a Verstappen in the sprint race for Belgium, where in the sprint race, if you weren't aware, Max Verstappen got the pole position, got the sprint pole. No, he didn't actually. Sorry, he didn't get the sprint pole, but he got up there on the grid in the sprint. And then he had very little wing, which was enough to speed past Piastri at the start. And then Piastri couldn't get close to him where it needed to be. And realistically, the only place you're going to really be overtaking is into turn 1, this DRS zone here. So, yeah. I mean, sadly, it could be made quite difficult for McLaren to pass. The start is going to be really interesting. Will it be a ret race? There's less chance of that happening. But as you can see in the straight bits, it's very much Charles Leclerc, and it's not until those medium speed and slow speed corners where you have the McLaren advantage. Now, the saving grace for this, as we always say, if you've got more downforce, as we know, McLaren are very good at looking after tyres. This is normally quite a high abrasive circuit. Yes, the start-finish straight has got new tarmac, new asphalt on, but the rest of the circuit hasn't. So that could be quite interesting. And if it does rain overnight, a lot of rain, we always say that's going to wash all that tyre they've put down over the few days, meaning the track is called green. And what that means is it can be a lot more abrasive. So next up, we've got the maximum speed by the drivers. And once again, it proves me right. Leclerc, 324. Stroll, 324. So that quite draggy Aston Martin, I mean, they've done that quite well. Hamilton, 321. So it suggests that maybe he's got more downforce on. Could he have a slightly better race pace? It did look like Hamilton had a bit of a better race pace than FP2. And then Lawson, 318. I mean, that's fairly significant, isn't it? When you look at the two McLarens, they're not fast at all. 319, 319. Suggests they do have a more downforce, for example, than the Ferrari. So it's, I mean, most certainly that is going to be really, really interesting. And there's the DRS delta in qualifying. And once again, we've got the top speeds there, but we've kind of just spoken about the top speeds. So this is what I think is quite interesting. This is the Hungarian Grand Prix qualifying fastest lap from 2024. Let's have a look at the improvements. Red Bull are actually just shy of 0.3 slower. Slightly concerning. Now, Ferrari and McLaren about 0.3 faster. If you remember, McLaren did finish 1-2 here. You got Haas 0.6 faster. You've got RB 0.6 faster. Again, like the theme, 0.6 faster. All about 6-7 tenths faster for both Williams and and Sauber and Aston Martin 9 tenths, but Alpine have found 2.1 seconds. What a massive... I mean, I'm trying to think, surely something happened to them in 2024, but yeah. So, but there we go. So, that's basically our qualifying talk. Now, when talking about who we think is going to win the race, well, Charles Leclerc, I wouldn't suggest he's favourite, but he's certainly one of the favourites to get a podium. I think it's going to be one of the McLarens. Now, normally in Hungary, when you look at the grid, P1, the odd numbers normally have an advantage because it's really dusty offline. The fact that they've got new tarmac and asphalt may well stop that. But as we know, it's still quite dusty. It's like a bowl. If you've ever been to like Brands Hatch in Brazil, it's very much like that, where the track is in almost like in like a natural amphitheatre. So people with odd numbers could get an advantage. So Leclerc could get a good, off pole. Albeit, to be fair, Oscar Piastri beat Lando Norris off the line, didn't he? So that is what Lando Norris, I think, is going to be helping. But I think wherever McLaren ends up getting the lead after lap 1 is probably getting ahead after lap 1 is going to stay there. Now, if Leclerc maintains the lead, what's going to be interesting is to see how he works with the tyres. The difficulty is Hamilton's all the way down in 12th. He's not going to be able to help him. It's kind of the same problem Max Verstappen always had against Mercedes. Meaning Piastri and Norris could change. One of them could, come in early and get that undercut, and the other one could maybe come in either at the same time as Leclerc or a bit after and change it up, putting pressure on Ferrari. And we all know Ferrari and their strategies. So that's going to be quite interesting. I do expect Hamilton, for example, to move up. You can pass it. He should be faster than people like Behrman, Hadjar, Lawson, but we'll see. I mean, the car's on pole. Gabriel Bortoletti, if he finishes 7th, that'll be absolutely amazing. And we can also be in a world where if something funny happens at the start, and Aston Martin, for example, gets on the podium, do not discount George Russell either, starting from 4th. Absolutely don't discount him. It could be, it's going to be good, and I can't wait. So let's now talk about Lewis Hamilton. Out of qualifying, didn't quite make it into Q1 in spite of being the most successful driver at this track. This is what he had to say. This is what happened just after he got eliminated, and he was, well, I'll let you decide.
Radio call saying you are out, and it's P13 as well, not even P11.
Every time.
And is that...
I mean, that's fairly significant, isn't it? Every time. Lewis Hamilton. Yeah. It's just a bit sad. I mean, every time for Lewis Hamilton, and this is what he said in his interview. I'm useless. The other car is on pole. The team need to change the driver. I mean, what in all? I just really feel for him. There we go, Lewis Hamilton. The team have no problem. You've seen the cars on pole, so we probably need to change the driver. This is the actual interview itself.
Can I just ask you the radio message every time? What that was?
Yep. Oh.
Can I
Play it again.
just ask you the radio message every time? What that was?
Oh, it's me every time.
About
Okay, here we go.
It's me every time.
you. So you're qualifying. I know you've been upset by it before, frustrated by it before. Is that what it is?
It's what?
Is it your qualifying? Your Saturdays?
Talk about the qualifying.
Or
Yeah, I'm useless. Absolutely useless.
any answers anywhere? I mean, this car, they're trying to get this car in a
I'm
better
useless.
position for you.
Team
but-
has no problem. You've seen the cars on pole, so they probably need to change driver.
Now, we've seen Lewis Hamilton like that before, suggesting he's going to retire in Mercedes, suggesting he's done. For example, I think that was at Brazil when he was finding it difficult. But he's called himself useless. I don't think I've heard it that bad. We know Lando Norris likes a bit of self-deprecation, but this is the worst we've seen Lewis. Now, he wears his heart on his sleeve, but still.
About
Here we go.
Oh, it's me every time.
you. So you're qualifying. I know you've been upset by it before, frustrated by it before. Is that what it is?
It's what?
Is it your qualifying? Your Saturdays?
Is it your qualifying?
Or
Yeah, I'm useless.
I'm
Absolutely
useless.
any answers anywhere? I mean, this car, they're trying to get this car in a better position for you.
Team
but-
has no problem. You've seen the cars on pole, so
You see the cars on pole.
Probably need to change driver.
You probably need to change driver. I mean, yeah, is he being a bit melodramatic? I think he is. Obviously, he's seen his teammate Charles Leclerc on pole position, and he's out in Q2. I completely understand his mentality. He's like, you know, the car's on pole. I couldn't even get anywhere near it. We know he was, you know, he was there or thereabouts in some of the practice sessions, maybe a couple of tenths of Charles Leclerc. But the issue is, this is Hungary. This is one of his best tracks, along with Silverstone, where he did really well. And I understand. I think he'll come back stronger tomorrow. He really does. Now, albeit, we're looking at 10 years ago. In 2014, if you remember, he qualified like 6th or 7th for the British Grand Prix. And oh my gosh, he was like really, really almost inconsolable after qualifying with his Rosberg on pole. Rosberg at that point had a lengthy lead in the championship as well. And then Lewis Hamilton won the race. Rosberg went out, but Hamilton was catching him hand over fist. It was looking really exciting. I was there sitting, I think, the Baggett complex. And then Rosberg pulled off and the crowd went wild. Although Hamilton, I mean, we're talking nearly over a second lap he was catching it. He was catching it once he got into second. It was amazing. So yes, this is now 11 years on, but Hamilton, like many other greats in Formula One, can have a really bad day, and then he can then go and dig deep, and which I feel he's gonna be okay. He's gonna be okay. Do I really think Lewis Hamilton is going to retire? No, I don't. But that is not healthy talk, and someone at Ferrari needs to put their arms around this guy, because that is not a healthy conversation to have, is it? With the Lewis Hamilton saying he's useless. He's not useless. This guy is one of the best drivers ever in Formula One. He's won 7 world championships. He's got the most poles. He's got the most wins. He's also, when you compare him to Senna and Schumacher and Verstappen, the argument I would make, yes, there's been instances, he's also the cleanest driver, and that's something David Coulthard has suggested, that Hamilton, unlike the other drivers, is almost an anomaly because he's done it in a much cleaner fashion. There's not too much controversy around him, you know, the instance that he has on the track compared to the people that we're comparing him to, which is why I think he's one of the best. And we saw the moves in Belgium, which were absolutely amazing. Qualifying was bad, I grant you that. We saw the 4th place in Silverstone trying to hunt down Holcomb. He couldn't quite do that, but he still, you know, finished ahead of Leclerc and really not quite embarrassed Leclerc, but put him in the shade. So after that interview, I think we will still have a good Lewis Hamilton. I don't think he's retiring. He's putting so much work into the 2026 car. I don't think there's too much we really need to worry about, if I'm honest. But there we go. So if you made it to the end, please give us a subscribe. That would be absolutely amazing. I will hit the subscribe button now. There we go. It's going to pop up there. If you're already subscribed, or you just like this video, literally hit that like button. That makes us smile. And thank you for clicking on the thumbnail. Thank you for watching it this far. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And onwards to the Hungarian Grand Prix.